like we had a good time doing that video on Monday on the new Diana TC.
I don't know, sort of.
Some people were picking us because I said Joe's never looked so stiff.
Well,
it's kind of true.
they ain't wrong.
Yeah. We were all kind of stiff.
Well, I didn't see you recording it, and I didn't see it until it was live. So.
That's true. Technically, neither did we, actually. I didn't see myself, till I would have done that over again. I didn't realize that we needed to break into that type of videoing. You know, we're used to just sitting down here and talking.
Yep.
And then you go, okay, read this, do that, stand up, wave, flail your hands about. Wait a minute.
It's an entirely different type of flying altogether.
Different process, yeah. But anyway, I could see that we'd get better at it if
You
we
didn't
did
get
it more than a few times. You know, and I certainly do appreciate the guys from Apple and what they're capable of doing, because people were saying it was designed, obviously, to be more Apple-esque.
Oh, really?
You know, you couldn't tell, right?
No.
Yeah. And it's got to... Those guys must practice, because wow.
You think so?
To get that shit down like that for like an hour?
Well, they got like a team on it.
Yeah. And they
We got a
practice.
team too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a team.
He's sitting over there.
Rah, rah, rah. Well, anyway, we wanted to talk, because we didn't really say a whole hell of a lot about the new Diana TC.
Nope.
We wanted to talk more about it. And
We were working on Diana TC for quite a while now, and the frame has changed in ways that you can't really readily notice, but are kind of required for the new driver. The TC driver is a bit more resolving, of course, than the previous driver, you know, the continual iteration and march of progress. So we needed to make adjustments to the housing to accommodate that, to ensure it doesn't get in the way. So the hole pattern is more open than it was before. Each of the holes is individually adjusted to its nearest neighbors to maximize its diameter.
that's kind of tricky to do, because
It's a bit fiddly.
we went through a few iterations on that, a few. And, you know, as you remove more material there, things become flimsier, and you start running into structural issues, right? There's not enough material left to hold the thing together,
Yeah.
right? Which would be you have one big open hole.
Well, they started to get too much where they started to like potato chip in the middle.
Yeah, it's just
So
not.
it's like,
It just was 2 weeks, so I
Too
mean,
much.
so there was a lot of back and forth going on with the, you know, with what we can do to maximize that, even down to a couple tenths of a percent, right? To maximize the
Yeah.
openness.
It's about as open as practical for that type of design, and looks about the same. So I think that's a win. It's
Yeah,
a pretty considerable difference.
Some people mention that they see it in a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same damn thing. Blah blah blah. Well,
Even
it's-
side by side, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Unless you really know what you're looking for, they
Yeah.
look pretty similar.
Right. Agreed.
I mean, I see them all day, so I'm like, yep, this is different, but
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing, you know, that people need to understand that the Diana Phi, the predecessor to this, was a phenomenal headphone. You know, it was really, really, really good, particularly in this form factor, so small and yet can do, you know, play with the big boys all day long, right? So to improve upon that, it's not dramatic. You're not making you're not throwing the whole damn thing out the window and going, oh, let's start from scratch, right? It's more of all kinds of subtle changes that add the couple percentage points here and there in all different areas. And that's what Diana TC is. It's those percentage points that add up to being dramatic at this level. You know, that's what people are looking for.
well, as we found out, some of the most trivial things ended up being way more noticeable than anybody would suspect, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this actually makes a big difference.
Yeah, the subtleties. And that again, it's R&D. It's playing around. It's going, all right, what can we do with this, you know? It didn't hurt that we just spent, I don't know how much on our new test facility. You know, we've got the, what do you call it? The soundproof booth to put our 5128 head in. We've got the AP software running on the, on their electronics and stuff, and dedicated real quiet computer, quiet room, quiet electricity. Whole thing's running on a
Quiet
dual conversion
electricity.
UPS. All this stuff, right? And it's good, probably 50, 60 G's in the room just to start making better measurements, so to speak, you know, and beyond what we potentially can hear. And I think what we're finding out too is that we're able to pick out with the measurements. We are able to pick out subtle and things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to separate in listening. You know, you're listening to it, and okay, you hear this, you hear that, you hear the changes, but it's hard to separate to differentiate the change.
Yeah, pinpoint exactly where you're
Yeah.
hearing it. Yeah.
I think knowing really well how we listen and how we can listen, and taking that subjective side, and now looking at it objectively also with the best measurement rigs that currently are available, is combined is working to our advantage, because now we've got, well, we could say, okay, can we hear this or not? We can measure it, can we hear it? And we're finding out both things occur. There's things that are occurring that are just acoustic in nature. They're not a measurement. It's not the driver itself. It's just the way it is when you put it on a dummy head, So anyway, that's some of the things we went from. That probably should have been your side, but I've been doing most of that, playing with the rig, so I guess I'm best qualified to talk about it. I got to set it up, hook it up, put everything in the rack, figure out how to use it, get with Jude from HeadFi. He helped me out to get it set up, to get the settings right, and we got that down.
I guess it doesn't seem like it, but I guess it made things go quicker too, because it still seems pretty slow trying out new stuff. But measuring it, instead of like listening to a bunch of stuff and like overnight or something, trying something different the next day, we could just go quicker.
Well, it's easier to pick out what isn't important.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, well, I hear it, but I'm not sure what's causing it. And I still don't think that I still think listening's the final straw here.
Well,
You've got to do that.
We did a lot of iterations with just measurements, and then it's like, well, we actually haven't even heard this yet.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we're narrowing down certain facets of the measurement, saying, okay, how low can we go on distortion? And at what point does that sound good or bad?
Diana TC now has the new leathers from Diana V2 that we recently updated, and we changed the headband, the padding underneath the headband, and the ear pads. In addition to that, we had some interior tuning changes for the new TC driver, and the frame actually changed the angle slightly. So there's quite a few differences you can't really see. They're not readily apparent, but they certainly make a difference and an impact on the sound, the feel, the fit, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing I've noticed at this level now is that the really small changes are actually even more noticeable now. Like before you can make pretty big changes, like when you first started and you didn't really notice it, but now since it's like so refined, even little things you notice,
Yeah, we peeled away so many layers of that proverbial onion that at this point, it's just the music. It's just clear to the source. I was using it just today we have some of the 11 audio stuff in another room set up to play with Apple Music. And I was playing around with Sarah McLachlan, Angel. I like that track. I like her vocals on that. It's clear, things like that. Nora Jones is all right. It's a little boring sometimes for some people.
Mm.
And got to put some rock and roll on there too and see what happens. But all in all, it plays well with all genres. And what's striking is you mentioned it, and I came to the same conclusion as when you get to especially in vocals, even trumpets, things like that, things that have huge dynamic range.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's I believe that you could call it startling at times.
Yeah.
Because you think you have the volume where you want it, but then something, loud will come out of nowhere. Be like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you run into that a lot with this, and like the previous Diana didn't do that.
Yeah, no, it's almost because we compared it to the previous.
We had them right there. Obviously.
Yeah, and side by side, and it's like where a passage would get loud, and it's obvious that the singer's singing louder at that time into the microphone. That dynamic range or that ability to startle you, like you said, just is startling. It's like, whoa. It's like, and I mean, you and me are really used to setting volumes. We just kind of set it for a certain level per track, and it's going. And we both did that. I mean, I did it earlier, and I did it later than you. And I mentioned you, and you said, yeah, I already found that out. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like, it wakes you up. It's like, whoa. It's like, and then I was listening to something with trumpets in it, and it was the same deal. It's like the trumpet seemed like it was, when it got louder, it really sounded like it got louder, where before it's more or less, it seemed more even.
More like,
when you adjusted the volume for
flat.
it. Yeah. And yet when it was quieter, though, it seemed quieter, too.
Right.
Which is kind of wild because you're not really, usually you don't see that kind of contrast or hear that kind of contrast.
Yeah, everything just shows up at full intensity out of like just blackness.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Maybe you can equate that to like a horn style speaker. You know, now that I think about it, when people talk about
Yeah.
horns, where they do certain frequencies so well like that, where they can impact you. I've heard the big horns, like the
Yeah.
big, avant-gardes and stuff, the huge systems. Those things with tubes are freaking amazing. You know, they really are. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for a system, but maybe that's kind of what you can equate that to. If anyone's ever heard these huge avant-garde systems that, are set up properly, they can just stun you.
Well, it also pairs. I mean, the normal Diana, the Phi paired well with the Broadway, but that's what we were using it on. Now it's even a better match. I think it's so quiet. It really
Yeah.
matches this very well.
Yeah, the Broadway balanced app is phenomenal with it.
Yep.
And we were running it on the Formula S too, same.
Well, I guess the only real way to know what it sounds like is listen to it for yourself. And we're still getting used to it. I mean, we haven't heard the final version for that long now, so we're still
Yeah.
getting used to it on more systems and whatnot. So,
That's true. It wasn't too long ago where we just finalized it and everything's going through getting produced.
Yep.
Production is happening now. Parts are being made. And anyway, yeah, she's going to be shipping in about probably 2 weeks or so, somewhere around there, give or take. And then we'll find out what the world thinks about Diana TC. So on that note, thank you everybody. Thank you for the nice comments on our video, on our Apple-esque video. And looking forward to feedback on new Diana TC. And we'll let you know if anything changes or anything new comes up as time goes on. Please subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.